Hey guys, this is our 13th video.
For episode 27 of Big Brother...
Returners.
That part.
Not air quotes on returners. No. Air quotes around All-Stars. But we're calling it returners.
Yeah, because this is not All-Stars.
And that's being generous.
Yeah, we're trying to be nice.
That's like the base level of like what these people are. So anyway,
This episode was the veto episode.
Yes, and we already knew how it was going to go.
Yeah, but it was kind of interesting to see. I don't know, this was pretty bland.
It included all of the drama that was talked about this week to the best ability.
No.
I mean, like, they included the drama.
They tried a little bit.
But it was still a little confusing to watch. So,
like, if you didn't know live feeds, I would have been a little confused. Been like, wait.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
So in no particular order, well, I guess we could start with the fact that Nicole had a really hard week. She was almost voted out. She was almost voted out twice during the triple eviction.
Nobody cares. She should have left.
She was in such a hard spot, and then she felt so betrayed by Christmas, even after she betrayed Danny, whatever.
Yeah.
She's lucky she was on the block with Danny, otherwise she would have looked way worse to Danny. But then she was a have-not.
Oh my god.
And it's so hard because she's the only have-not.
She's the only one.
It's so funny. And she has to sleep in that room by herself. That's so funny. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
That is the only good thing. You know, there's always a silver lining.
And she's
Remember
so,
that,
like, dead set on, like, getting vengeance. She's like, they try to get me out. Well, ha ha. My pregame best buddy, family friend, Cody won HOH. Screw you.
You people.
She's so annoying. Anyway,
so annoying.
Who would have thought I would be rooting for Christmas and Tyler to be getting out someone? Like, literally. Why didn't they get out Nicole? Like, I would have loved that.
We all would have
so
loved
much.
That.
Especially during the triple. Like, her first time being nominated was during a triple where she got evicted. That would have been just perfect.
It would have been a beautiful moment. I don't get those this season, so.
No. So, in no particular order, just stuff that we found from the episode that we thought was interesting was Tyler, before the veto, went up to Enzo.
This is a little effort, I guess, to, like, swing a vote. I don't know.
Best play he could do was to hope that Enzo didn't know about the committee and expose it and lie and say, oh, well, you know, I was HOH right before Final 6. We could have taken you out because you're not in the alliance. But instead I chose to target Danny, which means that you were in Final 6 with us. And Enzo, had he not known about the committee, may have been swayed by it, but the fact that he knew about it,
he was
didn't
just
really...
like, he just faked it. And I don't even know if Tyler really bought it.
I mean, it was the best he could do. Tyler definitely played a better move than Christmas, where Christmas was just like, Tyler will not tell you straight up to your face. I will. And Enzo was like, yeah, for sure.
Like, okay, cringe.
Like, that's your big play.
Stupid.
So then Tyler and Memphis had a little segment where they talked about their dads. Both of them lost their dads, and
so that was, you know,
it was
interesting to hear Memphis, because I already knew Tyler's story.
You can kind of like understand why Memphis acts the way he does, because
daddy issues.
Yeah,
he says dad was never in his life, and then he came in, and then
died like a year later, which can be hard.
And he was like 15 or something. So
yeah, and Tyler, I don't remember when they mentioned his father passed away, but he said that his father really liked Big Brother, and him making Big Brother a big part of his life now is kind of like good for his relationship.
Full circle thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But
the only thing that we had to mention is
you didn't care about that when you were trying to quit the show 2 weeks ago.
Girl, you wanted to leave. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm sorry, like, him playing up this whole thing, like,
it's a little extra.
I understand.
Like, the edit is, they are, well, they want him to get at least America's favorite player from the people, huh?
Why was this waiting until this week when you know Tyler's probably going to be going home, instead of 2 weeks ago when he was talking about leaving? I don't care, like, even if Davon or Bailey goes, I'm leaving right after. Yeah. This is not for me, this is for the bigger cause. Like, I don't even care about what production says. Where was his whole deal then? That was just a little confusing.
It just was kind of like,
the continuity of like the story of Tyler is like so confusing.
I don't get it.
Of like, oh, I really care about Angela. Oh, I really want to leave. And then they made it not look like he wanted to leave that bad. And now he's like sad that he might be leaving again. I don't know.
It's
And also, you made it to final 2. Like, you know how long and how hard it's gonna be. Like,
going into it.
And obviously he had Angela there, but like,
He didn't know Angela until he got there.
he didn't know.
Do you know what I mean? That's okay.
Anyway.
Anyways, Tyler, we don't really get it, but
Yeah.
you know, do you? Condolences to both of them.
So-
Losing a parent sucks. It's sad. I don't wish it on anyone. Parents are not supposed to go.
And
before
yeah,
their
we're not
kids.
complaining about
But I'm just
that.
saying
We are
that
complaining
the story
about
doesn't
the-
add up on the edits.
the continuity and like his like what he really truly feels and means, because
or what he's trying to portray.
yeah, what's coming off is like, oh,
like
he wanted to leave and now he's like using
which one is it?
I don't know. It's just confusing.
I don't get it.
So immediately after being nominated, Christmas goes up to Cody and immediately is like, sorry, I just like.
I'm not mad at you. It's not personal.
I'm just emotional right now, and I don't really know why. Like, you know, Loyal's
Okay,
birthday's
Nicole.
on Thursday. She literally
Like-
was pulling a Nicole, and I was like,
That doesn't work though, sweetie.
like,
You're not Nicole.
like, relax, convict.
You don't have
we get
this. You can't hypnotize people with the nostrils.
it. Like, we get it.
Not
Like,
fall
you're
for
you're intense, and like her fake pep cheer is so weird.
So weird. You're not a peppy
Like-
person. Like, that's
Like
not
she
your
walks
personality.
into like a room and she's like, "Hey
Hey,
guys!"
guys. And-
Like, wow, I'm feeling good.
And everyone's like,
And everyone's like, okay.
they're like, what did they give her?
Like, and
What are they putting in those
it's coming
protein
off so
shakes?
fake. Like, even if she's
It's
being
just
genuine, it just
weird.
comes off so
There's
weird.
just a very like multiple personality
She
vibe that she throws
because
off.
she threw out the fact that she separates personal from game. Now she has to act happy all the time, and it's so annoying. Like, she's like, "Oh, because I had that little blow up. Now, like,
I have to
oh, I was
be-
nominated. At least I get to play in veto." And I'm like,
That's how it works.
I'm like,
Durr.
get out of the car, please.
Put the keys down.
Put the-
Put the keys down.
So then Christmas also threw Tyler under the bus. I think she was the first person to do that. After
Yeah.
the initial, like, oh, it was Christmas's idea to vote out Nicole. Oh, it was Tyler's idea
No,
to
it was
vote out Nicole.
Memphis's.
No, it was
It was Memphis.
It
Is what
was-
Tyler tried to sort of say. Like,
both
okay.
of it was both Nicole.
And
I mean,
Tyler.
no, it was both Christmas and Tyler when they got pulled into the room right after Christmas won veto, where
Tyler
they were
threw
like,
a little hissy
they were,
fit. They want to get rid of David. I don't want to get rid of David.
yeah.
I was like,
It was
okay.
really funny to watch.
It was-
He's like, man, I don't want to get rid of David. I'm like,
well, sometimes things don't go your way.
I'm like, you're clearly in the minority here. Like, I'm sorry.
He's
Like,
not used to it. He's definitely not used to it. That's not how Big
he
Brother
tries
works
to
for him.
relate, but like, it doesn't work. Anyway, so
Yeah.
they both were like in cahoots on like getting out Nicole. It was kind of out of nowhere from Christmas. I didn't expect that
Yeah, I
because
didn't
they were
really
getting close.
expect it either. But I mean, she's kind of a such a me-I-T-C-H.
Yeah.
And she likes to pretend she's pro-women, but she's not. She lines with the men. She plays their game, and it was a way to save a man, to help a man, and get rid of a girl. And so I'm not that surprised. It's pretty on brand.
Yeah,
That's pretty
and
Halloween-y,
like
you know?
like all her tears
ugh,
about Danny are just like ridiculous because like.
Nicole's.
Yeah, I'm like, why didn't you do more to save her then? Like, you could have talked to Cody. You know, Cody would have at least listened to your argument. It didn't necessarily mean that was going to happen, but, like, you did
But
nothing.
have you not noticed that besides the Ian thing, anything Nicole has wanted that's, like, still sort of in Cody's favor in a way has happened. So
Yeah.
she has a pull on him. Like, she can
They've had, like, that
manipulate
disagreement
him.
from, like, the beginning of the season of, like, Cody feeling like, I have to compromise my position of, like, oh, I wanted to send out Janelle even though I was closer with her than I was with Kaser, or,
Yeah.
you know, oh, like, now we have to send out David even though Cody and Tyler were, and Enzo were closer to David. Like, they weren't going to go against Memphis, and, like, he wasn't going to vote out Nicole.
Cody's not going to go against Nicole because Derek set that up, like...
But even then, like, it wouldn't behoove him in any way to get rid of Nicole. It would be amazing for us to watch because then she's
he
out of
doesn't
the house.
really need her, though, either. Because he's not.
But that's an extra number, and he knows that he can beat her in the end.
He might not. His jury management sucks. And Danny is manipulative, and she's still, like, pro Nicole. She might be able to flip some people for, like, if it was final 2, Cody and Nicole, she might be able to pull some strings.
I really hope Christmas goes to the jury disgusting. And, like, tells Danny all the stuff that Nicole was saying
but
that
will
week.
Danny believe it? Because
I think she
hates
will.
Christmas.
I don't know. It might happen.
Oh, we'll see.
Anyway.
They won't show us the jury, so.
So then,
we want to see the jury.
Christmas to Enzo, threw Tyler under the Mercedes real hard and just kind of.
She was like,
she just kind of went for it and
my
said,
baby dad. Oh, I mean, not my, like, I want to win.
Like,
whatever,
oh, my final 2, but,
crazy.
like, now we're going at it, so, and it just didn't work. Like, Enzo, like,
she was,
knew...
like, didn't know what she was saying. Her story has changed multiple times, and Enzo, Nicole, and Cody have talked, and they've all been like, well, she told me this. Well, she told me this. And he's like,
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Like, so they wanted her out originally, or at least Cody did, and then Nicole really was like, no, I hate Tyler. He's worse. And in a way, don't get me wrong, Tyler is more of a threat, so she's not completely wrong, but it was just like, I don't know. To me, either one of them can go, so I don't care. But
this whole week has been set up by the fact that Memphis very early on told Tyler basically, like, I'm not gonna really keep you. Like, unless something changes, I'm gonna vote you out.
So then they were
so
like,
then it's
we
Nicole,
might as well just, like, do
it's
that.
Nicole and Enzo basically deciding, like, do we go with Memphis or do
and
we
really it's
go against
Nicole, because Cody's kind of like leaving it
and
up
Enzo's
to
not
her,
gonna make a big
and
decision.
Enzo's gonna go with that because that's for Cody. So it's really like Nicole's decision, and
it's up
Memphis
to Nicole.
has already rolled it towards Tyler. That's where it's going for him. So,
but obviously Memphis is the 1 versus the 2, being Enzo and Nicole.
Yeah.
I think so. Now we can talk about, like, how well people are set up right now. So far, in my opinion, Enzo is in the best position in the house because he went with Memphis's plan to get out of David, so he's good with Memphis, and he also believes that he has a final 2 and the 3 Wise Guys alliance with Memphis. So Enzo's good with Memphis. Enzo is Cody's number 1. Cody's, like, number 1, like, with Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he would choose Nicole over Enzo, but, like,
he'd be dumb to pick Enzo over Nicole.
Yeah.
If it came down to it, he'd make the same mistake again. But I don't know. We'll see. I think if he really sticks to what Derek told him, he's picking Nicole.
The difference is, though, now Enzo has a chance of at least beating Cody. Like, a chance. Because, like, in 12, he won 1 veto, and it was against Reagan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like,
so there's, like, that part.
But he's actually done really well with the competitions, as has Memphis and Cody. Christmas even, like, I'll give her credit. Like, she has done decent for the competitions.
She really barely has won anything.
And she's won the Power and Safety Suite, which counts as 2. But, like, it doesn't really do anything for your game. Like, it's a comp win, but, like, a have-not competition counts as a comp win.
She sucks, asshole. I don't give a...
Anyway.
That's how I feel about her. I don't have anything to say.
So then Enzo also saved Nicole, which means he's good with Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person that he's
Everyone
not good with
them,
is Christmas and Tyler, and one of them's going home this week anyway.
And even then, he's not their, like, number 1 on their radar.
Like, he duped them, but he also isn't,
he's
like,
still their friend.
They're gonna go after Nicole or Cody first,
for sure. So
unless
he's still in, like, literally the best spot.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, Memphis is in a pretty good spot.
Memphis
too.
is in a good spot because he is good with both sides. Meaning,
and everyone knows that, like, everyone kind of hates him. So they think, like, oh, we could keep him because, like, no one would vote for him.
Memphis has done amazing in the competitions. He hasn't been
Even
nominated.
With his bad back, I wonder.
He's the only one that hasn't been nominated besides Cody.
That's crazy, yeah.
Or Enzo. Enzo hasn't been nominated either.
Jesus.
I keep thinking Enzo was, but it's because he
ridiculous.
was rumored to be the pawn that one night.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that part too.
So once Tyler goes, and Christmas theoretically, that means 3 of the 4 people in Final 4. Because I'm assuming Christmas is gonna go.
Like,
I'm assuming Christmas is gonna go unless she wins veto next week.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like whoever wins would put her up. So.
But also, now that I'm thinking about it, they have Enzo and Nicole going for Cody, which I doubt that they'll win HOH, I'm pretty sure Memphis has the best chance of winning. Memphis or Christmas, honestly, best chance of winning HOH.
Yeah.
Because Cody's not going to be able to play.
But Enzo has sort of made comments about not being sure if he should win it. But I would rather him try to win it instead of maybe throw it to Christmas. Because
I would
Nicole
too.
probably won't win it because it's rumored to possibly be an endurance comp, possibly be the
slide.
The slide.
Where you have to fill up the
And
jugs.
Nicole's not going to be that good at that. Memphis's back is messed up, so most likely not the best at it. It would come down to like Christmas and Enzo for the most part.
I would say
Cody
Christmas
can't
has
play.
the best chance of winning
So,
that.
Yeah, so then if Enzo doesn't
If
really
it is that
try,
competition.
then Christmas will win. And that's
Yeah.
not really great for Enzo. It's not
And
the end of the world,
plus,
but it's not great.
you have Christmas coming off of being on the block and losing Tyler.
And
She's gonna be
big,
going hard
man.
for that HOH.
She's gonna look for those car keys.
Yeah. So
Where's
I would
my Mercedes?
I would rank Enzo as in the best position, and then Memphis and Cody are kind of equal right now.
Yeah,
because
they both
Cody
pre-gamed,
has.
but Cody pre-gamed harder, so it's like I sort of almost give it more to Memphis.
We have to mention Enzo. We also think is in the best position because he has done the most with what he had available. He did not pre-game,
and he still got in.
and he still got in
He
with
was
Cody.
technically not even in the big alliance, and he was still
Originally-
protected, never targeted.
Because originally Memphis and Cody were the final two, and then Enzo squeezed in there and kind of kicked Memphis to the side, and it helped that Memphis was acting, a fool in the beginning of the season.
He didn't help himself.
But also keeping
He
that
thought he could,
relationship
though.
with Memphis allowed Enzo to be good with Memphis and Cody, and kind of split down the middle and like separate them both and have final twos with both
no
of them.
one is worried about Enzo.
No one has
Which
even
is why
mentioned
they should
him.
be extremely worried. But
Yeah.
he's
Memphis has
playing a
already
good
gone
game.
after Nicole. People have already talked about Christmas. People have talked about Memphis. Even Memphis, though, people have talked about Memphis, but they haven't
never
nominated
do it.
him.
When it comes down to it, it's like he calms down before, like.
Well, same thing with Cody. Like, people have talked about Cody, but they haven't nominated him. Him and Cody and Memphis are in the same spot of, like, people know that they're dangerous, but they haven't been nominated.
They're
Enzo,
not
no one
prepared
has
to take
talked
the
about him
shot.
being dangerous at all, and he's not been nominated. Which
But
is
it's
why I
also
think Enzo is given the
everything
best
has
position.
been won on that side too. Now it doesn't matter because.
But Enzo technically wasn't on that side.
But he was,
squeezed
though.
in there.
But he wasn't pre-gamed on that side, but he worked his way into that side.
But he wasn't a part of the committee.
Okay,
which is
whatever,
like the good thing.
whatever. Whatever.
That's why I give Enzo more credit. Is because
for
he really put in the work to like do stuff, whereas Cody and Nicole just kind of laid back all season. And,
Yeah,
like,
they had it
won
just, like,
competitions,
fed to them.
and like you can even tell like watching feeds, like Cody and like Nicole are just so like
So
laid back and so.
comfortable.
It's so annoying to watch.
It's so annoying to watch, and that's why it was hilarious at how mad she got that she was nominated.
She's like,
and
wow.
that they tried to vote her. Like she was
Wow.
like, "How dare someone step
It's final
to me?"
7 and someone's finally nominating me.
Like,
oh my
girl.
gosh. Like, we get it. You didn't think you were going to ever be nominated. But
That's just not how it works.
so Cody has now
Except
won.
for I guess for like Cody and Enzo and Memphis.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Cody's now won 3 HOHs, and this is his second week, basically in a row since triple eviction happened in between, where he's won HOH and the veto, which
Yep.
is
All the power.
Enzo has done that now. Memphis has done that.
Tyler.
Christmas has done that. Tyler has done. It's
happened a lot.
It's happened a fair amount, and
It's a weird season.
It's very like interesting because it rarely happens that much.
Like other times, it's more like maybe once or twice a season, if that. Now it's like at least like every other time.
Also, I saw something that the veto has only been used on Kevin this entire
Kevin
season.
used it
On himself, and
then
Davon used it on
him,
Kevin,
and that's
which I think is
it.
insane because normally they use it at least like 3
one
or 4
2 other
times.
times. Yeah, no.
But like even like I mean the earliest seasons where they introduced the veto, where it was more of like a twist and not really like part of the game, they only used it a few times.
Yeah.
I know in season 3, I think it was never used. I don't remember because Marcellus didn't use it on him.
yeah.
I don't think it was ever used because back in season 3 it was the silver veto.
Yeah.
Until Final 4 when it was the gold veto.
The
But like you could only
veto.
if you won it on the block, you couldn't use it on yourself, which I think is the stupidest.
It made no sense,
made
and
no
that's why they had
sense.
to change the rules.
And it's
'Cause
also
it was
why no
like-
one used it.
or were confused on if
And
they should use it or
in
not.
season 4, the veto was only used on Allison by all the guys who were,
That part.
we both bobbed our heads at the same time. So
If you know, you know.
yeah, Cody, Memphis, and Enzo, I believe, deserve the win the most out of Nicole and
Listen.
Christmas. Just haven't.
Which
done much.
pile of trash do you like more?
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
all it is.
we hope Tyler goes home because Christmas
The BLM stuff thing
just rubbed me wrong.
Rubbed me so wrong that I'm like, he gotta go. And I just feel like Christmas is most likely a target to whoever wins next if she doesn't. So I'm not too worried about it. Whereas Tyler,
if he stays, he could win HOH or veto.
Yeah, he's not gonna slip up like he did on this veto again.
Not that Christmas wouldn't, but like they both been doing really bad. Like they both did horrible in the veto, and Christmas also did really bad in the veto and the HOH.
The HOH, yeah, it was just like
she was out first with Nicole in the competition.
I mean, it's just like another example of almost like you can't set this up better for Cody and Nicole kind of thing. Like
it's just like everything
is going besides being set up their way, even things that are just like falling a certain way are just like falling the right way. Like that's why it's also like I said, if Cody's ass doesn't win, it's sad.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't have gotten better. So now definitely don't come back again because it will only go downhill.
The last thing that I wanted to say was this week was really good for Cody in that he didn't have to show his cards at all. Yeah. He used the perfect excuse of, well, you guys went after Nicole, who's she's my final two, and she's my friend. He didn't say that.
That's why it's like, and then Christmas was like,
I'm pretty sure Cody and Nicole are like working together.
I'm like,
where's the stupid button? Because we should be hitting it for Christmas right now. Are you?
How many wall yellers does it take? How often do they have to hang out and talk about each other's like close personal families? They were on the same season together originally. She then played with his brother.
Like
he's never come anywhere near targeting her or saying anything about her.
How dumb are you, Christmas? Like,
I mean, what?
I don't know if they just edited that weird, but I truly believe like she's that slow. Are that slow. Wait, I think they're together because like he's mad at me.
I don't.
He's like mad at me for voting out Nicole.
Why
but that means that they must be together.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. So obviously they're together. It's been obvious since the very beginning. Like you don't see Enzo and Nicole up in the HOH room having fun get-togethers. Like anyway.
And then have you not noticed that like if Nicole's not happy with someone and Cody's in power,
they go home. Janelle. Freaking Ian when Ian betrayed Nicole, and then Danny. It's so.
It's
ridiculous.
So painfully obvious, and they can't see it. And it's just like, well, I mean, geez, well, good for you, Cody and Nicole. I mean, I don't know how you're pulling it off, but you really are. So yeah,
I give them credit,
but like only a little bit because it's like
it's more. It's not like what they're doing; it's what everyone else isn't doing.
Yeah.
So like, I can't really give them credit for being like smart.
Yeah, because it's not even.
They're not even being smart. Like Cody,
everyone's just being
Cody
dumb.
And Nicole are literally the worst liars. They've been
I know.
Like on the live feeds, like when Cody.
If Cody wasn't winning as much as he was.
He would be out.
Or with people that he was winning.
And I remember Cody lying to Davon about like something, and Cody was like, "No way!" And then like right after, he's like, "I totally she totally ate it."
And Davon was like,
and like they were like, "Okay."
Yeah,
but like
weird.
He was so horrible.
It was so bad. Cringy. It was cringy. Then
Nicole lying to Davon and to Ian those whole weeks where she's like, no, like I totally didn't flip the vote. Like you're just like freaking out.
Oh my god, I feel so bad. I'm lying. I never lied.
She's like the worst at lying, and somehow they just can't tell.
She's just like the snakiest of the snakes.
So Cody was in a good position because he didn't have to nominate someone because he's final two with Nicole, Memphis, and Enzo. So he's going into the next week perfect.
It's good for him, but yeah. That was this episode. This episode really didn't do much for me, but
as the most recent ones have not done, I will say the recap of the triple eviction was much more interesting than the actual triple eviction.
Yeah, that was more enjoyable.
Anyway, that's our video.
We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, you know the drill. Like, comment, share, subscribe.